What prompted you to found your charity?
Because I lost a very dear friend in 2008 to skin cancer. A few months after he passed away, another friend of mine sadly lost his battle against malignant melanoma. So I chatted with one of the consultants at the Christie, who said he had the Malignant Melanoma Research Fund, and yes, I could do something with it if I wanted to. So we turned it into Factor 50 and we started fundraising for research into this illness for the Christie. Are you convinced that
your friends used sunbeds and they contributed to their passing?
One of them, most certainly.
What about this legislation then? Is under 18s being banned enough?
For me, that would never be enough, obviously, for obvious reasons. The second friend of mine who died of skin cancer could pinpoint the times when he went on the sunbed and would show you that, you know, the mole that develops with overexposure. So, no, a complete ban would, you know, that would be for me.
Mr. Smith, you have a chain of these tanning salons. What do you say to what Gillian's had to say there?
I applaud what the government's going to introduce. But moderate exposure to UV light is not only good for you, it actually does bring about a lot of health benefits.
Exposure to sunbeds under 35 causes a 75% increase in the risk of skin cancer.
Yeah, that makes a great headline, but
it's a scientific fact according to the medical research.
But it's relative risk. It's relative to the actual chances of you getting skin cancer between that, in that age bracket, which is actually very low. So it isn't actually 75% of people in that age bracket who go on a sunbed will develop skin cancer.
OK, well, let's say that, you know, if you're 35, you're old enough to make a sensible decision for yourself, as you are about drinking, as you are about smoking. What about children? Do 11-year-olds come and use your salon?
No. I mean...
Even the unattended ones? Are your salons these unattended
Our salons are fully staffed. The percentage of unmanned tanning salons in the UK is very, very low. But obviously that's where these underage tanners are going. Professionally run salons would never allow anybody 16...
So you turn somebody away if you thought they were too young?
Yeah.
And what is too young, Mr. Smith?
Basically, somebody with... younger people have much sensitive skin. And exposure to... They need to take more care when exposed to ultraviolet. I would say somebody under 16 generally will have much sensitive skin.
See, Gillian, we can ban all the sunbed salons in the country that we like, but kids will soon get their T-shirts off and their tops off when the sun comes out, and you only have to go to Spain or Greece and you'll see millions of children, well, not perhaps literally millions, but there they are wanting to get a tan. It's not going to make a jot of difference, is it really? If they don't do it in a sunbed salon, they'll do it on a beach somewhere.
I think that it starts with parents and education, really, and I think that the message has to be that when your skin is tanned, it's a sign that it's damaged. This, don't you look healthy when you've been on holiday, is don't you look burned, and that is a sign that you've been overexposed to UV radiation. The problem with sunbeds is that they mimic the effects of that, and it just can't be good enough as for...
Well, Ben was shaking his head while you were saying that. Do you want to come back there?
Yeah, having a tan isn't damaged skin. Burnt skin is damaged skin. And
where do you cross the line between being tanned and being burnt? How does one know if you are in a sunbed salon or on a beach? I mean, it's a very fine...
The skin obviously is red. It hurts to touch.
So you're adamant that moderate exposure to either the sun or a sunbed
moderate
is
exposure to UV actually sort of prevents you burning your skin. Having a tan thickens the skin and prevents the more harmful UVB rays absorbing into the skin, which causes the damage to the skin cells. So actually having a tan through moderate exposure to UV prevents...
But if it's so good for you, why is the Health Secretary advocating that they should be banned for 18s and unders, if this is so good for their skin?
I think it's because there are so many young people who want that sort of celebrity-looking appearance, with, you know, a golden tan. They're not bothered about the dangers of overexposure to sunbeds and UV exposure. So, you know, they will go on far too often, and their skin you know, is sensitive, and they shouldn't be going on as often as they do. So,
OK, so moderate use is OK, Gillian?
Well, no, I disagree, because Ben pointed out earlier that there are certain health benefits, and I know that there's an argument for vitamin D, but you get vitamin D from natural sunlight. You only need 15 to 20 minutes exposure on your face and arms, and that is enough, and that comes from an oncologist. That's just not me making that up as I go along. I suffer with MS. I never go in the sun. I use Factor 50 all year round, and I would never use a sunbed, and apart from having MS, I'm picture of health. So where is the health benefit in me exposing my body to UV?
But there are people in sort of Scotland has the highest rate of MS sufferers, and they are advocating, you know, vitamin D is supplied in the diet and with moderate exposure to UV.
But they've already banned the sunbeds in Scotland, haven't they, for under 18s?
For under 18s, yes. Yeah.
So you're happy with the under-18s ban as a man who has a chain of these salons? You're pro that. And would you think that most people in your business would agree with that?
Yes. Professionally run salon operators are applauding the government over the decision to bring in this
What advice do you have on display in your salons? What health warnings, if there are such things? Do you have posters up or any information available to people who come in and use your beds?
Oh, yes. Every customer on their first visit has to fill out a client consultation card where we determine the individual skin type. Once we've determined individual skin type, we can then determine and recommend to the customer how frequent it is safe for them to tan and for how long they can expose themselves under a sunbed without them burning, which is the important factor that they do not burn.
Gillian, so we're not going to get a ban for everybody, but if we are going to have sunbed salons like those that Mr Smith owns and operates, would you like is there more regulation you would like? Would you like it tightened up? I mean, he has skin consultations. He does his best to make sure that his clients are best served by his product. At
the end of the day, Ben is making a living out of this. So, far be it from me to come along and say, his salons need to be closed down, because that isn't fair. But
adults have a right to choose, don't they?
Absolutely, yes. It's my problem is that our skin is an organ, and we're completely covered in it from head to foot. For me, it doesn't make sense to burn it. You may as well say cigarettes and alcohol are safe as well. I have big problems with it, but...
OK. Interesting debate. Thank you both for your time.
Welcome.
We'll have to leave it there.